video that I'm about to watch right now is a writing review session I did on my Discord. One of the members on Discord wrote an essay on the key takeaways that apply from games into real life, right? Something along those lines. So, but organically, when I was giving him feedback, तीन चीजें निकल के आई. One, to make any takeaway-driven article or essay sharp, this is the system to follow. It's called the PAT system. अभी बनाया है. P for principle, A for analogy, T for takeaway. ठीक है? Roughly क्या है? अगर तुम एक heading बोलते हो, the first line or first 2-3 lines should be dedicated to explaining what that principle is. The middle part of that should be filled with analogies, examples, so that people understand. Finally, takeaway क्या है? What is the takeaway for real life, right? How does this fan fiction moment, this popular culture moment, this game, this book apply to learnings in real life, right? वो वाली चीज़ कैसे होती है? For example, you write an essay on 3 things we can implement from chess into real life, something along those lines. So this is a system that works for pretty much all of those takeaway-driven essays or articles that you plan to write. If you're a gamer or a coder, right? 4-5 lessons from coding that you can apply in real life, something along those lines. तो ये scene है. इसे देखो, it's filled with insights. It's a very heavy writing technical video for all of the writing audience. This is for you. Live feedback. If you want to get more of these, अगर तुम्हें खुद अपनी writing review करानी है तो Discord join करो, link in description है. बाकी like, share and subscribe and make sure you check out this video. It's filled with amazing knowledge.
Live lessons for video games. I'm quickly going to read this. First thing, since it has been so long, obviously, okay, basic tenses will really help you. If you're using one tense, stick to it the entire time. Changing tenses midway can fuck with you, especially when you're first starting out. Okay. Fresh eyes, I would change this to something more. And oh, by the way, one more disclaimer. I'm going to be harsher than I usually am, and that's partially so you can learn better. Fresh eyes, maybe fresh perspective, or look at it in a new light. Any of those things work. Fresh eyes sounds a bit, I don't know, like a bit casual. Okay. Also, I would not use realize. It's the most overused word in all blogs. I would use something like, I learned we could play video games and how we could apply those strategies in our lives in order to grow. To grow, in order की भी जरूरत नहीं है. ठीक है? So 5 live lessons for video games. Sounds good. Embrace the grind. It is the key to dominate. I like this a lot because it talks about the premise of games where you have to do a lot of bullshit side missions, fail as well in order to progress forward. It's a good segue for life as well. Happily spending hundreds of hours grinding away because we know the reward. It makes it sound like कि हम सिर्फ time waste करते हैं. There's a better way of doing it. Maybe you could say like, we gamers embrace it because we feel the time we spend for these rewards are worth the achievement in the end, something like that. Okay, because 100 hours of gaming should, I mean, this is just my subjective opinion, should typically qualify into something that you can use in life. Okay, sounds good, man. I really like that you've spent this time to figure this out and put this on paper. I will again focus on making this sharper because there's clearly a way to make this sharper. See, you're repeating yourself, you're using a lot of weak sentences. You can avoid that by just getting to the point. Asha, you said sustain the grind in the game if you think of it as a torture. Similarly, again, you're saying the same things again and again. See, so it's already getting boring for me as a reader, and I'm reading very fast because I get grind karna hota hai, then what? It has to end somewhere. Think about, you've introduced a premise कि grind करना जरूरी होता है और उसका फायदा ये होता है कि we're able to get that rare achievement or that rare reward, that rare princess, whatever, that rare weapon, and then end it on a note that's a bit positive and sort of summarizes what your first point is. So all of it is good till we gamers embrace it because we get that legendary weapon, and then playing the game makes it easier, right? Also, what I would say is add analogies. Give me a game, because I've played God of War campaign and I know for a fact that defeating a Valkyrie or any big ogre opens up like some degree of magic or weapons, right? So using that analogy will help your readers to not switch off the tab, right? Yahan pe, right where it says as a result. In our own lives, we need to embrace the grind. Okay, fine. Uske baad, it's just all repetition. See, what you're doing is you're talking about something in the abstract. In order for us to understand where you're heading, you need to bring in a popular game, or even say ki when I'm playing falana game, right? I realize I get a weapon and then this happens and it makes it easier. Otherwise, it's just words on paper. Examples have their own authority. Then you won't need as much explanation. Let's take a classic example. Let's move away from games for a while. Harry Potter has to go through a lot of those bullshit favor asking, dosti yari karna, so that he can get to the final mission, right? So just that one example makes the, like the storytelling worthwhile. Right now it's a bunch of text, right? We get the abstract part that you're trying to make a case for why all of these side quests are necessary, right? One analogy and you're solid. Okay, move on to the next point. Seek the artist enemies because they give. I really like this. I really like this. I read this before in your essay only because I was trying to review all of them as much as I could. I like this because I mean, on a personal note, I was one of those gamers who like, "Arey fuck yaar, mushkil enemy aa gaya." But I love how you're like, ki, the harder the boss, the better the loot, which is true, which is so true. Again, like look, basic stuff like 2 space bars just distract your, just kill your credibility. Avoid that. I'm telling you guys, तुम्हारा आधा काम बच जाएगा अगर एक बार second draft edit कर लोगे. Seriously बता रहा हूँ मैं. No, none of you are willing to do that. That's where all of it lies. So it's one classic thing is you've written right here. If we don't if we fail, we don't curse ourselves involved, nor do we. So it's always neither and then nor. You cannot use nor alone. So it's like if we fail, neither we curse ourselves and wallow in self-pity, nor do we run away from the enemies that we see. Got it? Neither and nor always come alone because neither implies ki nor aane wala hai, nor implies ki neither aane wala hai. Again, the basic, this just small things that piss me off. We calibrate, do better, and repeat till we have killed it. Okay. Again, examples, my friend, you are doing great. These are great insights, which have obviously been gathered from a lot of gameplay. Use examples and you are miles ahead. Because at this point, we are blinded as readers because we don't know exactly what these games are. This is an ambiguous term right here, XP. If you're writing for a gaming audience, maybe explain that. A classic way to rewrite this entire article is to say principle that is acquired, followed by analogy from which said principle was acquired, followed by what's the learning for real life. Simple. You structure it like that and all of these become great points. Again, look, you're making very solid points and you've finally used a gaming example. So 4 points later, I see the names of games. I want more. I also want screenshots from games if you can. Okay. Again, great stuff. No matter how good you are, it is meaningless if you don't have fun. Of course, that's true. I would avoid shit like this. It's grammatically incorrect. It is meaningless. Okay. I'm not saying don't work hard, nor am I saying again same mistakes. Your ending is a bit. I'm not sure what you're trying to say here. Maybe you're trying to say कि बहुत बढ़िया game था. Sure. I would end it with maybe like a passionate case for why your games are like a good segue to learn about the world, something like that. Some like on a positive note. But that's just me. Overall, I would say great shit, man. Great first attempt. It's fantastic. Looks good. Edit, structure it, okay, because we cannot go on with just abstraction. We need examples. Now, I will say I do not have a lot of experience in popularizing a blog because I have only very recently started my blog. But I have written a lot of captions, tweets, you name it, like small articles on these social media websites. So I can say that there are good mediums. But as I also progress in my journey around blogging, I can help you better. But I would say कि अभी के लिए, if you have a Twitter, make sure you write the meatiest stuff. Also, what you can do is if you have the chops for it, see what's trending. See if even if one of your articles is laterally related to what is trending. So, hey guys, falana banda is competent enough to lead Rockstar Games this season. By the way, if you'd be interested, I wrote an article about the 3 things you can do. समझ रहे हैं? इस तरह से. So you can also plug yourself into existing conversations around Twitter and then plug in your essays.